What's up, traders? Welcome back to the channel. We're Generation Pips, and this is our weekly Forex analysis video. As always, whether you're new to trading or a seasoned pro, this video is going to be packed with some of our top trade setups that you need to know going into this week. Make sure you hit that subscribe button and that bell for regular updates. I'm Eli. Grab your coffee, and let's hit these charts. All right, so we're going to look at Euro USD. We are actively in a trade, and I will go into that a little bit into this video. But right now on the weekly time frame, we can see that we are in some bit of a channel or a wedge, as you will. Price is rejecting off the bottom and the top of both of these trend lines on the weekly time frame. So we're going to go into the daily time frame, and we're going to look at what that price action is looking like. So overall in the daily, if we zoom out some, we can see that price is ranging between these highs up here and these lows down here as support. We also have this most recent area acting as resistance. So rejection, 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 a little fake out up here, and we're starting to push down to the downside. So what we'll do is look at the 4-hour time frame, and we'll go into seeing what our trade setup could potentially look like going into this week. So in the 4-hour time frame, we can see that we formed a head and shoulders, which is that head, that right shoulder, that breakdown of that neckline. And it looks like we're pushing right back into that neckline for a retest, which could potentially push us back down to that daily level of support that we saw in the higher time frame. So we're already actively in this trade, but if you guys want to get into this potential trade, there's a potential entry here that could potentially bring you guys back down to the bottom. And that's going to be Euro USD going into this week. The next pair we're going to be looking at is going to be Euro CHF. And if we look on a weekly time frame right here as it is, we can see that we pretty much can't see what the actual trend is of this market. So we'll zoom out some on a weekly time frame. And here we can better understand that the market is in an overall bearish trend. Price is just moving to the downside. So knowing that in that context, we'll zoom in a little bit more on the daily time frame. And on the daily time frame, we zoom out some, we can see that price is also in a wedge like the previous pair that we looked at. So we're going up, we're going down, we're going up, and we're potentially going to make it to the bottom of this wedge. So let's go into the 4-hour time frame to see if there's any potential entry to possibly get back down to this most recent daily level of support. So we drill down to the 4-hour time frame, and we can see that price is now forming a bearish structure, as in we have a high, a low that broke the previous low. We also have a lower high followed by a lower low. So right now we're waiting to see if price can bring its way back into this area to potentially give us a short position back down to that daily level of support that we talked about. And right now that's going to be Euro CHF going into this week. The next pair we're going to look at is going to be Great Britain Pound CHF. We've talked about this pair in previous videos, but as right now in the weekly time frame, we have this level of support used as resistance, and we formed this double top that we talked about in that last week's video. So going into this week, we're going to see if there's any way to potentially get back down to maybe these weekly lows down here at the bottom. So break this down to the daily time frame. We can see that price is in somewhat of a range. We have resistance here, we have support here, and we also can better see that double top that's here. So let's go down to the 4-hour time frame. And on the 4-hour time frame, we can see that price has formed a head and shoulders. So we go here, we can see that pretty much we have our left shoulder, neckline, our head, then we have our right shoulder, and then we have that most recent low. So what we'll be waiting for going into this week is for price to potentially make its way back up to that neckline and then enter a short position back down to the bottom of that 4-hour support. And that's going to be Great Britain Pound CHF. All right, next up we got NZD CAD. This one should be pretty straightforward. On a weekly time frame, we have resistance followed by support. We are in a sideways market. So let's drill this down into the daily time frame just to get a better look of that market. And here we can see that we have that resistance up here at the top, followed by that support that's down here. We also can see that price broke free from that resistance, retested, and now we're going down to the downside. Let's go to the 4-hour time frame, see if we can capitalize on any entries. And as we can see on the 4-hour, we have this downtrend, this most recent broken support area, and let's go see if we can go ahead and retest that most recent low to get into a sell position back down to the bottom, and that's going to be NZD CAD. All right, guys, so the last thing that's going to be on our watch list for this week is going to be gold. So on the weekly time frame, we can see that gold was once in a range. We had support down here at the bottom, followed by resistance up here at the top. We had a strong breakout, and as we can annotate with this weekly trend line, we can also see that we have some bit of a range right now, which we can drill into the daily time frame to get a better look at. So we drill into the daily time frame, we zoom in a little bit, we can also see that that is that support. And this is also that resistance. We had a fake out of that area, a breakdown, a retest. So Let's go to the 4-hour time frame and see if there's any possible way that we can get a trade going into this week, potentially to the bottom of that daily support. So on the 4-hour, we can already see that price is forming that bearish structure, which is that high, that lower high, that lower low, and now we're back at this area here. So this is where I'll look to see if maybe we get some push up and then a push back down and then an entry. Just more to see on what will happen at that area, but that is what I'm looking at right now for gold for a potential sell position down to the bottom. That's everything that we got for this week. Thanks for tuning into this week's analysis video. For more content, follow us on Instagram at GenerationPips. Remember to subscribe and hit that like button if you guys really enjoyed this video. Drop your comments below. We love hearing from you guys. Stay tuned for next week's analysis. Once again, happy trading.